Tangerine had been kidnapped 6 years ago and was still missing. Since that day, Guan had made it his life's mission to find her no matter the cost. He gave up everything, his home, his career, even his wife, to pursue this quest. One day, sitting by a hillside near the road, Guan spotted a truck and began hurling stones at it with precision, smashing the windshield and causing it to crash. He rushed down and confronted the driver, demanding to know where his daughter was. Suddenly, the driver's partner struck Guan on the head, knocking him out. Both men fled the scene on foot. When Guan regained consciousness, he opened the back of the truck and discovered multiple children trapped in cages. It became clear he had uncovered a child trafficking ring and had attacked the right people. Desperately, he checked each cage for his daughter but couldn't find her. Just then the police arrived. To them it looked like Guan was the trafficker and he was arrested. Handcuffed in the back of the police car, Guan dozed off and once again dreamt of Tangerine. This time she appeared entangled in dark swamp-like vines. He jolted awake and realized the police had taken her photo from his pocket. Enraged, he attacked the officer, reclaimed the picture and fled. Out on the road, he hijacked a passing car without hesitation. The driver, a woman named Link, shockingly knew everything about Guan, even the details of Tangerine's abduction. She promised to help him find his daughter at any cost. The scene then shifts to an older era where a warrior named Kong is running from a group of attackers. Their leader is a ruthless old man. As Kong reaches a mountaintop, the enemies surround him. At the last moment, his sister appears and shoves him off the cliff to save him, urging him to head west before confronting the attackers alone. Kong climbs back up only to find his sister slain by the old man and his soldiers. Fueled by rage, Kong draws his spear and charges at the elderly leader. The old man warns him that if he kills him, he'll never escape the wrath of Lord Redmane. Ignoring the threat, Kong slays him. As the chaos settles, Kong, exhausted from running, makes a bold decision to go to the city and confront his ultimate nemesis, Lord Redmane. Suddenly, the slain old man's armor begins to shake, seeking a new host. It flies and attaches itself to Kang's body, merging with him. This armor has a mind of its own. It was clear now. The armor had chosen Kong to assist in a new mission. The armor completely merged with Kang's body, forming an eye in the middle of his chest. Meanwhile, Ling took Guan to a building where she worked. There she showed him photos of 5 young girls, asking if he could recognize his daughter among them. But Guan couldn't identify her. 6 years had passed since the incident, and his memories had faded. Soon Ling got to the real point. She could conduct a DNA test to help locate his daughter, but in exchange Guan would have to work for her company. They already knew that Guan possessed some kind of supernatural ability. He could control the motion of objects he threw with his mind. The company now wanted Guan to use his powers to assassinate a man named Kong, a writer. Kong was known for narrating his stories live on stream. Strangely, whenever the character Lord Redmayne from his novels suffered any injury, something bad would happen to Ling's boss Limu in the real world. The company had tried every way to stop Kong, but nothing worked. Guan didn't believe a word of this bizarre tale, but he had no choice. He had to save his daughter, no matter what. The next day, Guan adopted a new look, cutting his hair short, and arrived in a small town where Kong lived. On the way, he listened to Kang's audiobook and realized something uncanny. Everything from his dreams was linked to the stories Kong had written. Guan tailed Kong the entire day, waiting for the right moment to strike, eventually following him into a library. But Guan failed to stay hidden. He and Kong were the only two people in the entire library. Eventually, Kong turned to him and asked why he'd been following him all day. Caught off guard, Guan lied, saying, "Sir, I'm a huge fan of your novels." Kong was delighted and started asking him all sorts of questions. Before Guan could respond, Ling called him and told him to step aside. Over the phone, Ling ordered Guan to stop talking and kill the writer immediately. But Guan disobeyed and kept following Kong. As they resumed their conversation, a vehicle from Ling's company suddenly tried to run both of them over. Guan managed to escape, but his diary, where he had written about all his dreams, was left behind. When Kong read the diary, inspiration struck. He now had a fresh idea for how to continue his story. The narrative shifted back to the dream world once again. In this realm, Kong found himself in a bustling city celebrating a festival. At the center of the celebration stood a towering statue of Lord Redmayne, where people were worshipping the god. Kong was stunned by the size of the crowd. Suddenly, the statue pointed toward a nearby village, and the people raising their weapons charged in that direction. Kang's armor explained that Lord Redmayne had destroyed many such villages in the past. The god was provoking his followers to go to war. The villagers tried everything to defend themselves, but then 3 dragons appeared in the sky, raining molten lava upon them. Soldiers shot flaming arrows, setting the entire village ablaze. The next morning, priests dressed in red robes, followers of Lord Redmayne, arrived to scare off the remaining survivors and took control of the burned village. Back in the present, Guan awoke in a hotel room to find Ling sitting across from him. She asked coldly, "What punishment do you deserve for not completing your mission?" Just then, Kong arrived outside the hotel and returned Guan's diary to him, thanking him for inspiring the next part of his story. In the following scene, Guan invited Kong for a walk and led him to a secluded place pretending everything was fine. During their walk, Kong revealed something astonishing. In his dream world, he had seen a little girl. In the dream world, the little girl was trying to save her brother, but he was already dead. That girl was none other than Guan's daughter, Tangerine. He comforted her, and together they buried her brother. Tangerine revealed that the soldiers in red uniforms were the ones who had killed her brother. They would kill anyone who stepped outside after sunrise. In that dream, Tangerine played a tune on her flute, a tune that surprisingly Kong and Guan heard in the real world. But this melody also alerted a red soldier who began chasing them. A strict curfew had been enforced after dark, and no one was allowed on the streets. To protect Tangerine, Kong quickly crafted a dummy resembling her and used it to distract the soldier. Mistaking it for a real girl, the soldier approached, only to be struck on his helmet by Kong. As the helmet cracked, it revealed Guan's face. He was now ready to kill Kong. But just as he raised his weapon, Tangerine appeared again and drew his attention. Strangely, this time, Guan found himself frozen, unable to move. Seizing the opportunity, Kong and Tangerine fled. Back in the real world, Kong was typing all of this into his novel when suddenly Guan appeared behind him. The visions Guan had seen in his dreams were exactly what Kong had written. Without warning, Guan picked up a rock and struck Kong. Knocking him unconscious and sending him tumbling into a pit. Humming the same tune from the dream, Guan prepared to land a final blow, one that Kong had actually described in his story. But then from the middle of the road, Guan heard a child humming that same melody. It stopped him cold. How could this kid know a tune Guan only ever played for his daughter? He ran to the boy and asked, "Where did you hear that tune?" The boy got scared and ran. Guan chased him, and as he ran, it felt eerily similar to how the red soldier chased Kong and Tangerine in the dream world. The boy managed to escape, but in the process, Guan accidentally stumbled into a small party. There he was stunned to see the man who had kidnapped Tangerine, carefree laughing with some friends. consumed Guan. A fierce fight broke out, and Guan used his powers to defeat them. He grabbed the kidnapper and demanded, "Tell me the truth. Where's my daughter?" Terrified, the kidnapper finally confessed. Tangerine had been given an overdose of drugs during the kidnapping, which resulted in her death. They had put her body in a sack and left it on a mountainside to rot. Enraged and heartbroken, Guan nearly strangled the man to death until Ling arrived. She knocked Guan unconscious and dragged him to her car. When Guan woke up, he immediately told Ling that kidnapper said my daughter is dead. Ling's boss, Limu, had been listening to everything. He ordered Ling to tell Guan that the kidnapper had lied. Tangerine was still alive. But Ling hesitated. She didn't want to stoop so low as to lie to Guan just to manipulate him further. Guan, however, made up his mind. "Don't worry. I'll kill Kong. But I want that kidnapper. I want to finish him myself. Get him out of police custody and hand him over to me." Later we see Limu furious at Ling. He had clearly instructed her to lie and tell Guan his daughter was alive, but Ling still refused. She wouldn't deceive Guan to that extent. Meanwhile, in the dream world, Kong and Tangerine managed to escape the Red Soldier and make it to the city. There they witnessed the horrifying aftermath of the war. Innocent people had died for no reason. When they finally reached Tangerine's home, they found it abandoned. Her family had died too killed for being outside during curfew. Just as they were talking, followers of Lord Redmayne burst into the house and tried to kill them. Kong, without a second thought, jumped in to protect Tangerine. Kong leapt forward to protect Tangerine, something that surprised even his armor. "Wow, trying to be a hero now are you?" the armor muttered. Back in the real world, Kong met Guan on the rooftop of a building. Still unaware that the man who had attacked him before was actually Guan himself. That's when Guan noticed something strange. In Kang's novel, the Red Soldier had suffered a head injury, and in real life, Guan had the exact same wound. It was clear now. Kong had written Guan into his story as the Red Soldier. Guan took Kang's notebook and discovered a terrifying truth. All the strange visions, dreams, and events he had been experiencing were written word for word in Kang's novel. Even more shocking, Tangerine was alive in the story. This meant one thing: Kang's novel had unknowingly created a parallel universe where whatever he wrote started happening in the real world. Kong explained that in the final chapter he and Tangerine were surrounded by Redman soldiers with no way to escape. That's when Guan gave him an idea. No matter what happens, we have to win this battle. The story now shifted back to the imaginary world. The moment the fight began, Kang's armor suddenly detached itself, transforming into a living creature that could shape-shift into any weapon it wanted. It tore through the enemy lines like a wild beast. Kong jumped into the fight too and realized something incredible. The armor moved according to his will. "Because my blood runs in you," he shouted, striking the armor's chest. "You obey me now. I am your master." In the real world, Guan is called Ling. "I've changed my mind," he said. "I'm going to protect Kong now. If your boss has a problem, tell him to come and stop me himself." But because Guan didn't want the novel version of Tangerine to die, not after all he'd gone through. Saving her even in fiction meant something real to him. Later, during a quiet conversation, Kong revealed a dark secret. His father used to be business partners with Li Mu, Ling's current boss. But one day his father died in a mysterious accident. Ling, who had been secretly listening to their conversations, suddenly realized the truth. Li Mu had murdered Kang's father, and now to cover his tracks, he wanted Kang dead too. Furious, Ling called Li Mu. "Tell me the truth. Did you kill his father?" But Li Mu didn't say a word. He simply hung up. Moments later, as Ling returned to her car, one of Li Mu's men attacked her with the taser and stuffed her into the back seat. Meanwhile, Guan and Kong made their way to the library, the place where Kong would write the final chapter of his novel. Guan was determined. No matter who tried to stop him, he would protect Kong at all costs. In the fictional world, Kong and Tangerine finally reached Redmond's castle. There they found thousands of red soldiers frozen like mannequins. That's when Kong realized the soldiers only came to life